Welcome back to the channel, all you cryptocurrency enthusiasts, participators, investors, traders. Derek here, and in today's video we're going to talk about what it takes to build a sizable portfolio. A portfolio that could change your life and change the loved ones around you for generations to come. To build a portfolio like this does not happen by chance, by randomness, by fluke timing of investments. Yes, people do get lucky. They stumble into the market at the right time, have the right allocation, get the right position, and get out at the right time. That is a unicorn event. And even those people that get in at the right time like that 1 in a million type chance, end up draining and losing their accounts over time. We're going to talk about what it's like to sustain your portfolio with knowledge, with understanding, so that we can approach this space, this crypto volatile space, with strategy, with technical analysis. Nobody has a crystal ball, and I don't have a crystal ball. This isn't financial advice, and really, I don't think there's anyone out there to give you financial advice in this space, this new asset class being born and presented into this world, right? This disruptive innovation of technology. Today we're going to look at key things, key features, key psychologies. We're going to look at things that I'm confident when we look back on this video, we're going to see that perhaps there was some value here to what I'm about to say. So if you like this video, be one of the first to like and subscribe. Support the channel here, because I like building cryptocurrency portfolios. I'm not really a video production guy. I do this because I feel like it could change your life. And so that's a passion for me, to want to share this knowledge with you, and in hopes that you would share this knowledge with others and take part in this revolution, this disruption, this beauty of opportunity that surrounds us here today. This opportunity won't be here forever. It's not going to be here for that much longer. And so the time is now. And so with all of the stuff I have going on in my life, all the other work I do, I'm dedicated to take time out, produce this content for you, and I'm going to continue to update these videos with these charts and with these projects over time, so that when we look back, we might agree that there was something of validity here to understand. Okay, so without any further ado, let's jump in to one of the most enormous key tools that we have at our disposal that's free, and that's tradingview.com. So here we are. We're going to go to TradingView. What we're looking at right now is the Bitcoin USD chart, US dollar, and it's on Bitstamp. There is a tremendous amount of charts out there that you could select from. You come to a watch list over here, you click this little button, you go ahead and search Bitcoin USD, and you're going to get a lot of these exchanges. Okay, if I type in BTC USD, I think I get even more. And so you can go down, if you're trading on Binance, Bitfinex, Coinbase, Kraken. It's just one that I've had for a while. I have several Bitcoin charts on here that you could see in my watch list, I'm just saying that this is something you could do on your own to leverage this incredible TradingView tool. And I'm going to give you some insight here, because we're not playing games with this cryptocurrency portfolio position growth. We're treating this very serious. So I have the BLX chart over here. I have another Bitcoin dominance chart and several others that we're going to get into. One other chart here for this video. What I'm showing you here is the Bitcoin daily chart. Okay, you can go down to the minute, the hour, the week, the month. Okay, I have this set up right here specifically for the daily. And so you see I have arrows here. What these arrows represent are time cycles. Now, I put out a video on the stock to flow of Bitcoin. It's a chart that resembles and showcases the stock to flow ratio of Bitcoin's history. I suggest you go ahead and check that video out, because in that video, the stock to flow ratio is set up measuring the Bitcoin halving event. And so every 4 years, Bitcoin has a halving event where the mining rewards get cut in half. All right? So keep that in mind, that Bitcoin is a cyclical asset. It could change with regulation that's coming and adoption, and all of this stuff coming in Bitcoin's future can change the cyclical nature of Bitcoin. But as of right now, Bitcoin is following a very cyclical nature. That presents a phenomenal opportunity for us as investors, partakers of this opportunity, an enormous leverage of strategy when we approach this grand asset of Bitcoin. Now, just for full disclosure, I don't own any Bitcoin. I started out with Bitcoin and ERC20 tokens and other blockchains. If you watch my other videos, you'll understand that more in detail. But why I follow Bitcoin's chart is because Bitcoin is literally leading the way. It's leading the charge for what? All the other altcoins. So in the beginning of this video, I said that this won't be an opportunity like this forever, because things will definitely change. Bitcoin right now is #1 on CoinMarketCap. It's the #1 largest cryptocurrency asset. And it's my view that in the future, there will be cryptocurrency projects that will surpass Bitcoin's market cap. That could take 10 years, that could take a long time. But over time, I do believe that some of these other altcoins are going to gain dominance. But why it's important to check the Bitcoin chart today, even if you're not investing in Bitcoin, is because it is the pioneer. It is blazing the trail. And when we look at other charts, if I go over here to the Cardano chart, for instance, if you look at exactly what we're looking at here, this is the daily, going back from December 1st-ish towards now. We go over here to ADA. I have a few ADA charts also. Is it exactly the same? No, it's not, but very similar. It's not going to be exactly the same, but it is going to be very similar with price action. So when you recognize the Bitcoin chart movement history, all right, you can begin to understand what can go on with the altcoins that tend to follow the price action of Bitcoin's movement. All right, so this green arrow here, all right, this green arrow represents the low, all right, the low. The red arrows are the highs. And in a bull market trajectory, what you tend to see happening is a series of higher lows. So every time there is a low point, the next low point is generally higher than the previous low point. And it also creates higher highs. So the high is going to generally be higher than the last high. So you're going to, in a bull market, get higher lows and higher highs. And the reason this video's out now with you here, the reason I'm stressing this is because if we look over here and we go back in time a little bit, this area right here is where we changed, in my view, we changed from a bear cycle to a bull cycle. So the structure of the market began to change. If I continue to back up time, you're going to see that instead of higher lows and higher highs, a bear market goes through a course of lower lows and lower highs. So every time there's a low point, it's normally lower than the previous low. So the price drops. And when it drops and then it has a resurgence upwards, the highs are lower than the previous high. So every time it goes high, it gets lower. All right, now we're going to take it back a little bit in history here. We're looking at the bear market we just went through, that we just suffered through, right? People have suffered through this. If you weren't doing your positioning right in the previous bear cycle bottom, this might have been extremely painful for you to go through. But if you know what you're doing, if you can understand the cyclical nature of this market, this whole entire bear series was an opportunity for you. Okay, this crypto space takes a tremendous amount of discipline and patience. If you don't have those two qualities, you weren't born with those two qualities, it's totally okay. You don't need those qualities because you can gain and garner those qualities in your life. So we're looking back, okay, through history, and right up at this point here, when Bitcoin crested, it really went towards almost the $70,000 mark, right? This was when the structure of the previous bull market changed and went to a bear market. It created lower lows and lower highs. You might say this arrow is above this arrow, and what happens is when a market changes, there will be a fluctuation like this, where maybe one of the lower lows is actually a higher low, because people in the market don't really understand what's going on, and they still think it's a good time to buy, and that Bitcoin's going to go up towards this $100,000 mark that everybody thought was going to happen. And what happens is, if you don't understand timing bands, if you don't understand these 4-year cycles, then you are going to, if you've bought here, suffer a tremendous amount of disappointment, pain, and despair for this entire time. This was March 22nd of 2022. It really has taken an entire year of downward trending from that point. If you factor in all the way over here, the timing is even longer. So why I'm showing you this is because I started to track this cycle during the last bear market, because I understood that there was an anomaly here that many of us don't understand, okay? And this is what I'm trying to share with you all today. Where you see these arrows begin is where I began to really take this serious. This was May of 2018. I began to invest around here at the top of this last bull market, 2017. I had really no idea what Bitcoin was. I heard about it back in 2012. I should have invested. We all say that. We all say we should have invested. What would it have been like if I invested back then? So here I started to take this serious because over time I didn't even understand what a bull or a bear market was. And so I was cost averaging in little by little into the market, okay? And then what I began to realize is there is a tremendous amount of volatility, obviously, but how can we take advantage of this volatility? Okay? So with that in mind, with this understanding in mind, and with hopefully a perspective that you can understand that I've been taking this serious for quite some time, and that now where we are over here, okay, is where we were back here. And look at all of this price action that occurred beyond this point, all right? If I take my measurement tool and I just calculated that around here, let's say you might have, this was the general area where we are today, because the bottom of what we just went through was back in December, was back in January, okay? See down here, this is where, in my view, where prices were back here. And we've gone up a little bit, right? We've gone up a little bit, okay? And so let's just say you got some position right around this point. Look at the growth, right? Look at the growth. That's 700% up. 700%. That price action increased over this time from where I think we are now towards the top of the market, all right? And that, to me, is very exciting, because what happens is if you get your position down here somewhere, or over here if you're lucky, or if you're here or anywhere, sometimes it presents another opportunity. In fact, any time throughout this entire zone, this entire area here, you would have gotten a fantastic yield. So think about that. From what is it? April 27th of 2019 takes us all the way to January 2021. So almost a full year of time that you could cost average and bring some position size to your portfolio that then can realize an enormous upside potential growth. Okay, so this is where I believe we are today. Okay, this is where I think we are today in the markets. Now, this also, these red and green arrows also represent something very significant. And what they represent is a 60-day span of time. Generally, we're looking at anywhere from 50 to 75 days of time. So Bitcoin has this 4-year cycle event where the bull and bear markets follow a 4-year cycle. So far, there's a halving event that occurs, and there's other measures. And all of these lines, every single one of these green and red lines that you see represent everyone in the world who's trading at any given time. And so this is really a representation of the entire investor community, trader investor community of the world. So it's a representation of the crowd of investors. And the crowd of investors pay massive attention to this. They spend a ton of time analyzing these charts. And so you and I can also take advantage of that understanding. And so with volatility, okay, that always freaks people out, like people in my family, people who I've brought into this space last cycle still cannot wrap their mind. They cannot understand why the markets have crashed 70, 80, 90%. It's the cyclical nature of the cycles. It's hard to understand that. So if you aren't entering and exiting at the proper times, you're going to fall victim to that suffering. Because all the people who bought back here, they're in this box somewhere, they're selling up here. They're selling somewhere up here, right? They're selling their positions, and then they're happily waiting this entire time. So while people are buying here, because yeah, look at all this growth. People are buying. They're thinking the price is going to go higher. Okay, but timing lets you know something different. And so what you have is a measurement of time that can provide some guardrails for your psychological understanding of where these markets are going so that you can build your portfolio not just today or tomorrow, but over the course of time. So once you understand this and you have sold your position here, you have almost exited out of the cryptocurrency that you're investing in, and you're holding fiat currency all the way down through here, this is the time where you can reallocate your fiat currency back to a crypto that you're excited about investing in. And then you can then hold with discipline all the way through the next cycle. Okay? I hope this is making some sense here. One key thing I want to show you is the time. So if I have my measurement tool here and I bring it out to the next low, see how that's 64 days, 63 days? Remember I said it's the 60-day time band? Okay. Let's check this one out. So it's like right around here, 62 days. About right around here. Okay, 50 days. All right? Let's look at it. 74 days. So from 50 to 75 days, there is a mini bull and bear market that occurs. It's a miniature bull and bear market that happens where for generally now, if we're taking the 60 days, that's a general number, right? It could go from 50 to 75. But in that 60-day general window, you're going to see in a bull market, which we're in, that 60 days is divided with a 45-day on average uprise with a 15-day decline, which means that it is a right translated market. And what I mean by that is that the high comes to the right of the halfway mark of that 60-day cycle. And conversely, in a bear market where you have 60 days also, so we're just looking over here, we're just looking for the days. I'm just looking at this line here. I'm not looking at price or anything. This window is specifically a tool in this case to show me how many bars. So every bar in this case is a day. So this is 59 days, like right there's 60-day cycles. And so in a bear market, what tends to happen is it's reversed, okay? The high happens in a 15-day uprise, and then the low occurs after a 45-day decline. Generally, it's not rocket science. This is not crystal ball craziness. This is a general understanding that I've began to track that I just showed you in the past bull and bear cycle. And so this trend, this 60-day cyclical nature, gives us an understanding of volatility, because when prices retreat through a bear market, like where we just had this, now I'm going to actually use this to measure the decline. We just went through a 13 or more, we just went through a 16% drop in the price. And so people get very frustrated and they don't believe, they don't understand what happens here. I just bought and I just lost 30%. Okay, or what if you would have bought up here around this area, and this is even more, 20%. And so this is going to happen all the way through the cycle. This is going to happen, all right? And so we need to be aware of this, because if we're aware of this, we can be a lot more patient and understanding and disciplined when this price volatility happens. And so if you can get your window of investment somewhere around here, if you can get your position somewhere here, then you're okay with all of this price volatility that can happen throughout the course of this next bull market. Okay, so look at how different the perspective looks. And so I set these arrows up at key points. So let's now go to the ADA chart. So I have this chart here, I'm going to reset it. Okay, so here we are. We just went through, and I have a little bit more set up here because I think that ADA presents a better opportunity, not financial advice, just my opinion. This was really the low point, And I've began tracking ADA with the arrows from this point here. So we can look back through the video later on in a couple years and see if there's any validity to what I'm doing here, right? You can be the judge. And I have some boxes and I have some other features set up on this chart that I don't have set up in the Bitcoin chart, okay? Because of several reasons. So let's just take a quick look back to, so what are these lines, okay? What are these lines here first, real fast, all right? This line here, this purple line represents to me the last time we had a low. So it's the last lower low, okay? So I'm gonna be cautious of that line. This wick down here, this was around 34 cents. This was the last lower low. And so the price action today here is sort of like hovering around, right? We're following that 60-day cycle key measurement from what we're learning from Bitcoin. And if I take my measurement tool and I go over here to this next bottom low arrow, you're looking at 62 bars, okay? So this is a window of insight, right? There's nothing set in stone with this. We're looking at a window of insight. And then to the uprise, what I said was that there's generally around 45 days-ish of an uprise followed by 15 days of a decline. Okay, so that kind of puts my box up here somewhere where this red arrow represents the projected 45-day uprise. Could be anywhere, and I'm hoping, right, I'm checking to make sure that it presents a higher high, right, than this previous higher high, which was 45 cents. So I'm hoping it comes up towards 50 cents or what have you. And then maybe it comes all the way back down to like 37 cents, right? And this is massive volatility. This line here represents the last high. So I'm setting my box up so that I can forecast where the price needs to move so that I can understand where this timing band is. Those are the two lines that I have right there. Now, what's this other line up here? Okay, this line here represents the previous all-time high that was set way back in the last bull cycle, previous bull cycle. This was the previous all-time high back in 2016-ish. And this line up here represents the previous all-time high that we just had, the most recent one. Okay, so we're going to look back. We're going to look back through history, and we're going to see that so it was like the end of that 2017, just exactly like Bitcoin. When Bitcoin had its uprise to $20,000, this is when I first started to invest in Bitcoin. This is when Cardano hit its previous all-time high of $1.20 around, okay? And then what happened was, we go through the bear cycle, we go through the entire bear cycle. This would have been a great time to accumulate this entire span of time. It's almost 2 years of time. And then price action increased. Now what's interesting here that you should pay attention to, this is where the value comes in. Let's check out the price range tool here with ADA and not Bitcoin. So it's the same thing. And I remember when we did it with Bitcoin just now, that it was about 800, 700, 800% of an increase. Look at this. See the difference? 13,000% increase. See, the difference is that Cardano is a newer asset. It's a third generation cryptocurrency. So it didn't have tremendous bull and bear cycles like Bitcoin had in the past. And so the potential for growth in Cardano's ecosystem or some other altcoin that you might be interested in could be a little bit higher than the growth of Bitcoin. Now you're also going to, with that growth, you're going to have more of a decline also. So you're going to have a tremendous amount of decline as well, of price action going down. So it was at $3 here, and then now it's at 90% down. So here is my last box, and this is the close of the video, okay? So around this cycle where we had the bottom of the bear cycle. So we have the bear cycle dropping, we have this bottom occur, and now we're restructuring, creating higher lows and higher highs. This is where we're at with my little projections. And I'm going to continue to move and show you this every couple months. I'll come back and do like these kinds of videos, or every month or whatever. And I'm also going to feature the regular stuff I have on the channel here with other projects I'm thinking about, or other projects that are doing really good things. But I will also keep this in the queue for you to understand, because I'm still learning here today as I speak with this. What is this box up here? This box represents the target that I'm looking at for when a potential bull market top could occur. Okay, so the previous all-time high to this bull market top we looked at was $1.20. And what tends to happen in these bull and bear markets is that in a new bull market, the price goes beyond the previous all-time high. So it goes beyond $1.20, and then it makes a new all-time high, which is, in this case, it was $3. So it's my thesis, it's my theory here, that the price will stagger its way up and somehow get to this box. There's many different ways that this can happen. And my theory is that it will crest the $3 mark at some point and then present a new all-time high. Okay, I'm trying to be conservative actually with this target of, what is it, $3 to $7. It could go to 10. It could go wherever. It could only go to 5. Who knows? It could never get there either. We just want to be aware of what we're doing and where we're at in these cycles so that we can make educated decisions that have a lot more behind it than just a Hail Mary gamble. Okay, it's what I see. It's a gamble. It's a Hail Mary. It's a wish. It's a pipe dream. There's no strategy. There's nothing behind it. And people are losing. And I'm tired of hearing these horror stories. And so you are still in a very fantastic time. Yes, did you miss the bottom? Yeah, you missed the bottom. Could it go down more? Sure. But don't get greedy. Don't get greedy. Anywhere in this target would present a fantastic opportunity to allocate. Even up in this box, if I were to take this and sort of draw it up a little bit, this entire area would be, in my opinion, an advantageous setup for a healthy position size. Okay, so if then I take the measurement tool from somewhere in here and I move it up to somewhere here, that's 1,000% growth on your dollar bill, right? There's no crystal ball. This isn't financial advice, like I said in the beginning of the video, but if you put $1,000 right where I click that box and you sell it here, that $1 bill that you put in would be now $1,000. Do the math. What is it like if you put $100 in? 1,000 or something. And so you can cost average. There might be some more opportunity, but what's going to happen is when price moves around, the opportunity gets lesser and lesser. And so for some reason, when it's quiet, when there's nothing but FUD and fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the space and in the news, people paralyze themselves. They're stuck like a deer in headlights. They don't move. There's no action. They don't take any position, and they miss the opportunity. And then what happens is up here, when news is hot and people are talking about it and everybody's talking about it, they tend to get that position here because of FOMO, the fear of missing out. Then they must get in because they don't want to miss out. And then what happens is the structure of the cycle is on its way to turn, to change, to go all the way back down through another miserable cycle for them down to the next all-time low. So don't let this be you. Don't let this be you. Consider this. Look back through this chart yourself. Consider it yourself. Consider whether or not what I'm saying here makes any sense to you. Because ultimately, it's you. It's your position. It's your investment. It's your time. Okay, so consider what I'm showing you here. And if you've made it this far in the video, you're serious. You're a serious contender. You're somebody who wants to actually do something different with themselves. Not just a talker like everybody, on social media and all that. You're an action-oriented person, and you should be excited about that within yourself. And if you don't have discipline and you don't have that grit inside of you, that's okay, because those things can be instilled within you. It's just like anything else you do in life. When you take time to do it, it gets better, and you get better at it, and you understand it more. So I hope that I'm raising some awareness within you so that you don't miss what's going on. Okay? Because these opportunities are quietly here. They're quiet. Right? There's not much alarm. There's not much news, and there's so much other stuff going on in the world, all this negativity, and while these people are getting in position. Okay, and I hope that could be someone like you, right? There's nothing that I'm advocating for. I'm not trying to tell you to invest in a certain project or what have you, but there is something happening here. There's an opportunity of a lifetime, perhaps, right? We'll see. We're going to see. We're going to track these videos. I'm not just going to hide out and disappear these videos. We're going to track in real time. All right, so until then, stay strong. Do your research. Check out TradingView if you don't have it. If you don't have the time and you really don't have the space in your life to track this stuff so intensely, which I understand, go to my website, cryptofluency.com. I have a blockchain blueprint. It's a free course, over 3 hours worth of content where I'm just pouring out everything I know about what blockchain is. Why should we care? What's going on? What opportunity is here? What is blockchain technology, and what are cryptocurrencies? How do they relate to each other? What industries are being affected by this revolution? And by the way, all these disruptive revolutions that occur happen quietly until your life is intermixed with it. Think of the internet, think of the phone, think of technology. It just came on the scene. It just came on the scene, and you got a phone, you got a computer. It's hard to understand that computers weren't even here 20, 30 years ago, like to the masses. Yeah, they were building computers in different ways for technology and companies, but every average day person having a computer and a phone, that's basically a computer, and the internet where you're searching stuff online and social media, apps. This just happened quietly, and boom, it's in your life. This is what blockchain technology is doing. It's an up level of technology. And cryptocurrencies play a huge role. So check that course out. There's nothing to lose. It's something that I wish I would have had when I first started. So it's my passion to deliver this content to you, to do my part in helping you all understand that there could be something life-changing that awaits you. So if you got any value out of this video itself, hope that you would like and subscribe and share. It helps out this channel. It helps the growth of Derek on Chain YouTube channel. And until the next video, stay strong and stay informed, and always be prepared. I'll see you soon.